Hi everyone, today we'll be looking at DC Multiverse, Lobo from McFarlane Toys. And as you can see, he comes in the standard packaging. I don't think he's considered a deluxe figure, but it's just a standard packaging as you can see from McFarlane Toys. Nothing special. So let's take the figure out of the box and see how the figure is. So here's a figure straight out of the packaging. As you can see, no additional hands or head, just this chain, which is not even, I think it is painted. Maybe it has some wash included in there. It's hard to tell. I thought that when I was looking at the packaging, it looks like just bare plastic, but I think it does have a little bit of black wash in it. It's just a standard painting on a McFarlane figure. I don't think he includes as much paint as he used to. I guess because these are mass retail figures, so that's understandable. And as you can see right off the packaging, he has a very imposing pose. So this is the back of his jacket. Really good painting on McFarlane's part. And unfortunately, I don't have a McFarlane figure on hand right now. I do apologize for that, but here he is standing next to a Power Rangers figure from Hasbro. So as you can see, if you have the old Mattel DC Multiverse line, I think he scales better with those figures than a McFarlane figure. I think he's a little bit bigger than the average McFarlane figure, but not that big. But let's take a look at the articulation the figure comes with. So double knee articulation, and as usual from a McFarlane figure, is pretty stiff. So there we go. And you know, the hip articulation, it does have that modern articulation where you can rotate at the hips. And as we've seen recently, this crotch piece is made of soft plastic. That way we can get better range of motion, but I don't think it's even, it may be possible with this figure. Maybe get a stand. That way you can get more dynamic poses. Does have ab articulation. Let me see if he rotates at the hips. I think he does. But as you can see, you don't get much range of motion in there. He does have toe articulation and ankle articulation, which is really stiff as well. But I think this is one of the things that McFarlane does well when figures have sort of like an armor to hide the articulation in there, especially at the ankles, because I think they've done a horrible job, especially like on those Superman figures. He also has wrist articulation, no hand articulation, double elbow articulation. I think he also has butterfly joints in there, as you can see. So he does have the upper arm articulation too, to rotate it. Standard shoulder articulation as well. And the head is, you know, the standard ball joint for McFarlane. So let's take a closer look at the head. Let's look at the details about it. There it is. Some people didn't really like the sculpt when this figure was announced. I don't think it's the best sculpt, but so far I think this Lobo figure is probably one of the best out there, in my opinion, because he scales well with not only the McFarlane figures, but as I mentioned before, the Mattel figure. So if you want a figure that is a little bit bigger than Superman, I think this is a great figure to add to your collection, especially for $20. So if you can find it for 20, I'll say get it now. I don't know if there's a variant, knowing McFarlane, probably with a different head or something. So if the price does go up, I recommend just waiting for another release on this figure. I have a feeling that he's gonna re-release it again with a new head. It'll probably be like a store exclusive as usual. But let's take a look at the sculpt. I think they did a really great job on this figure. I think this is overall, for its price, I think that's where it shines. It's just a great display piece for your Superman collection or your DC collection. And before I forget, I don't know how this is supposed to go on. I guess just wrap it around his hand. Okay. Maybe it's supposed to go all the way inside. Okay, so I guess this is as best as I'm gonna be able to get it. Just be careful. I think over time this is probably gonna break apart, especially on soft plastic. So as I mentioned before, I think it does have a little bit of a wash to it. Let me stand the figure out. Alright, so there's the figure. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I think if you're a DC fan or a Lobo fan, I definitely do recommend picking up this figure, especially for $20. But yeah, drop a comment. Let me know if can answer some of your questions, or what would you like to see me review in the future. And once again, thank you for watching.